I'll speak first.
Please.
Good afternoon. I'm Chairman Gruby, Chairman of the Agua Caliente Band of Kuya Indians. To Chairman Gray and members, Vice Chair Bigelow, we are trying to get to a place where Agua Caliente can support your iPoker bill, but the bill is currently incomplete, pending more discussion among stakeholders. Agua Caliente is fine with the concept of a revenue stream for the horse racing industry, but do not know if $60 million a year should be that final number. Revenues from iPoker should probably determine what that revenue stream should be, but I don't see the concept as a major issue. You have blank spaces in AB 2863 at this time by agreement for the licensing fee and for the gross iPoker gaming revenue split with the state. We are fine with that for now, knowing that issue will need to be addressed in the Appropriations Committee. The big sticking point is the suitability or bad actor or tainted asset issue. The language put in your bill on April 21st on page 25, lines 15 through 18, causes us great concern. This means the issue can be dealt with in another bill in another year, and we would like to address the entirety of the issue in one act at one time. The amendment also leaves intact the language we strongly object to page 25, lines 9 through 12, which would disqualify any applicant if the person or entity have been convicted of a felony or have accepted a bet over the internet in violation of U.S. or California law, or having abetted that unlawful activity. Conviction for a felony should be a disqualifier, but there should also be an alternative standard for illegal contact, not requiring a felony conviction, and ask that you strike your language added to the bill and substitute our language below, which neutralizes the issue for now, much as you have neutralized the fees for the issue now. This is language our tribe submitted for consideration as neutral language regarding suitability. It would be under proposed substitute language for section 1990.405B8A. Prior to enactment of this legislation, the legislature must specify criteria related to involvement in the internet betting prior to California's authorization of internet poker. We ask that these changes be forthcoming very shortly. Without them, we must assess taking an opposed unless amended position. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next chairman.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My name is Mark Macaro, and I serve as the tribal chairman of the Pechanga Band of Luiseño Indians. It's a position I've held for the last 21 years. We appreciate Chairman Gray's efforts to bring together principal stakeholders to attempt to reach consensus on this divisive issue of intrastate internet poker. Collectively, we have the opportunity to secure for Californians meaningful protections from illegal, untaxed, and unregulated foreign gambling websites. Because AB 2863 has not been fully developed and language and concepts are still evolving at this early stage of negotiations, we are taking no position on this bill today. We reserve the right to either support or oppose the bill going forward, depending upon the outcome of our negotiations. We also believe that, as a matter of fairness, the bill should contain impartial placeholder language on the suitability issues as we provided to you substitute language, which Chairman Gruby spoke about. Let me make a couple of general points about some of the outstanding issues and hurdles. First, with regard to eligible entities, we believe preserving the status quo in the scope of gaming as proposed in the bill is movement in the right direction. This approach, which we have long advocated for, respects the will of the voters and existing public policy that limits the conduct of live poker in California to card rooms and tribal casinos. We look forward to continuing our discussions to arrive at a rational license fee and tax rate that reflects market realities. Second, with regard to suitability standards and tainted assets, iPoker poses a unique and unprecedented situation that requires a clear policy from the legislature and statute for legal and regulatory clarity. One of the world's leading experts on gambling law, Professor I. Nelson Rose, recently opined, quote, "The common law and public policy of every state hold that gambling is an illegal activity. State licensed gaming is an exception to the general rule. Like any exception to common law, gaming, including internet poker, is strictly construed in favor of limiting the activity. This allows the state to deny licenses to applicants who do not comply with the state's requirements. Now, the federal UEGA, the Unlawful Internet Gaming Enforcement Act, clarified the legal status of online poker or online gaming. In 2006, which caused most online poker operators to withdraw from the U.S. market. But at a time when California was making devastating budget cuts to education, public safety, social services, some offshore poker sites continued taking bets without paying California taxes or licensing fees. And in fact, until the FBI seized 3 of the biggest poker websites, offshore poker sites built brand name recognition, sophisticated software, and strong customer bases. Had card rooms or tribal casinos engaged in those activities, we would have been shut down. Still today, there are offshore poker sites continuing to accept illegal bets from Californians. Bodog Poker, Winning Poker, Chico Poker, to name a few. And the source of this is Poker Scouts. I think it's pokerscouts.org, but it could be .com. And you heard a presentation on this, actually. It's going on right now. Now, it was illegal in 2006. It's still illegal today. Nothing has changed over that course of 10 years. So these activities remain illegal. Offshore sites that broke the law should not be rewarded with a competitive advantage or law-abiding tribes and card rooms over law-abiding tribes and card rooms. We're not the only ones to hold this view. In fact, just a few years ago, as you heard from Morongo, San Manuel, and several card rooms formed COPA, the California Online Poker Association. We think they had it right when they said, quote, "We believe that foreign offshore operators who have been illegally siphoning billions of dollars, jobs, and benefits from California's economy should not be considered for any kind of licensing by the state," end quote. And COPA said that 8 years ago. Now, even Nevada, which is widely respected as a leader in gaming regulation, also included a bad actor clause in its internet poker statutes. And just last month, there was a very troubling revelation. 23 charges of insider trading were filed against employees and advisors of PokerStars' new parent company, Amaya, including the CEO, stemming from the purchase of PokerStars. The charges were the result of the largest insider trading investigation in Canadian history. Members, the unique and unprecedented nature of iPoker requires a clear policy from the legislature, not unelected bureaucrats, for legal and regulatory clarity. And we look forward to continuing our discussions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next
Good
witness.
afternoon, Chairman and members. My name is Tari Bigknife, and I'm the Attorney General for the Viejas Band of Kumeyaay Indians, located a little east of San Diego County, California. And we also have a position of no position today, as the bill is currently stated. What we look forward to is more discussion and more substance to many of the issues that remain outstanding in the bill today. Now, all of the speakers have talked about protection of California consumers, and that is critical. That is very important. And so we look forward to working towards strong suitability standards that protect consumers, that make sure that bad actors aren't in the industry, that make sure that we're protecting a fair industry for all that are going to be involved. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next witness.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. Curtis Notsuna with the Yochadihi Wintun Nation, located about 45 miles northwest of here in Sacramento. We are also in a no position on this bill. However, as written today, the tribe has historically opposed the suitability language that is in print. And as we continue to negotiate with Chairman Gray as the bill moves towards the floor, we believe the process would be smoother if suitability language was truly neutral during this time period. Therefore, we urge you as committee members and Chairman Gray to remain impartial on the critical policy issue of suitability. Thank you.
Thank you very much for those comments, gentlemen. Is there any other witnesses that are in between on this that wish to speak? Seeing no other witnesses, that wish to speak that are in between, then we'll move on from this segment and we'll go to the support from the positions from the horse racing.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
So if we could get like 3 witnesses up at the front table, and we could do the rest from the back microphone right there in the room. As soon as we do these witnesses here, then we'll do the Me Too's or comments from that microphone there. Mr. Harris, I believe you're first.
Thank you. I'm here representing the breeders of California. There's probably over 1,000 of them located all over the state in virtually every area. I personally have been involved with horse racing for probably about 60 years. I know I don't look that old, but I have been. And I own and operate Harris Farms, which is one of the larger thoroughbred operations in California. I've been on the board of all the different alphabet organizations, and currently on the California Thoroughbred Breeders Association and a steward of the Jockey Club. At Harris Farms, we've bred over 1,000 horses over the years. We've had 2, really what they call a big horse. Tis Now, who won the Breeders' Cup Classic twice, and of course the latest is California Chrome, who is now leading many earning horse.
Congratulations on that achievement.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately I don't own him, but we have bragging rights anyway. The horse industry in total, and particularly the breeding sector, employs thousands of people. Every horse, there's got to be somebody taking care of it, feeding it every day, and often getting brushed and trained and led around and all this. So there's all these jobs and economic activity. So that's the good news. The bad news is it's getting tough to survive in the horse business. Competition, as California cost of doing business has gone up, probably more so in the horse business than other segments. And California is the only state that's not getting some money from other sources than just our revenue from wagering on horses. I mean, I personally wish we could get it all from just wagering on horses, but that is tough to do now because they're competing with states. I sent a few horses back to Pennsylvania a couple months ago, and their purses back there for the same level of horses we have here are probably about double what they are here. For these are horses that were raced in Northern California for maybe a $10,000 purse. They're running for $20,000 purse back there. And New York and Pennsylvania and Florida and Maryland and New Mexico and all these states are really difficult to not go to, and their cost of operation is actually less. We can get horses trained cheaper in Pennsylvania than we can in California. We support the iPoker bill because it's of a simplicity partially, but it will provide needed revenue that will go to all segments of the horse business in California and can keep it alive, because there really is a danger. I know you always have people coming here crying wolf if something's going to go away, but this really could go away. There's always going to be somebody who's going to run their horse against my horse down the road, but to keep the whole industry going, we need some money coming from someplace. So appreciate looking at this bill.
Thank you. Our next
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, Louis Brown on behalf of the California Authority of Racing Fairs, echo many of the comments by Mr. Harris, and that he's been a big supporter of the racing fairs for years. The mitigation fund that's created in this bill is very much appreciated, and we think will be a plus for racing in California. I'm also here as a representative of the Western Fairs Association. And the Western Fairs Association represents the 76 fairgrounds in the state of California, and we very much appreciate the authors for dedicating a portion of that mitigation fund for the future operations of small and medium-sized fairs throughout the state of California. We think it'll be a significant boost for the long-term success of those entities, and we ask for an aye vote.
Our next witness.
Alex Solis. I'm a professional jockey for 35 years. I have rode over 5,000 winners. All over the world. I race in Dubai, South America, Central America, and Japan. I was elected to the Hall of Fame 2014, and I'm in support of AB 2863 because it will assist the horse racing industry by adding much need revenue. It will increase purchases and will help building the industry back up. It will help with insurance, a retirement fund for jockeys and track workers. I would like to thank the Assemblymember Gray for taking this issue. I am very lucky to be racing in California for 31 years. I have rode the most beautiful tracks there are. Santa Anita, Del Mar, Golden Gate, Los Alamitos. It makes me very sad that we had lost tracks like Hollywood Park, Bay Meadow, Fairplex, Pomona. We had lost a lot of owners, trainers, jockeys, groom. Exercise boys had to relocate back east for the simple reason of a state like New York and Pennsylvania, Indiana, Florida, Oakland Park, Louisiana. They all have been held from the casinos and the slot machines. Their purses are so much bigger than ours. We still should be proud here in California. One of the most special things is we had the latest Triple Crown that they have come from California, American Pharoah, and our California Crown. They almost won the Triple Crown, and it's, in my opinion, the best thoroughbred in the world right now. This bill passed through will help to bring owners back, more jobs for our grooms, exercise boys. It will benefit all California in general. I'm a father of one girl and 3 boys. I worked really hard in this industry, and I'm so proud to call California home for all the great dreams that I have accomplished in this wonderful country, of course. And like I said, I had 3 boys that worked in the industry, the horse racing industry, and I like to see this happen, to bring our industry where it was, the #1 many years ago when I came to this state. I like to see I'm here because I like to see this happening, to live horse racing way better in what it is right now, and I know we can do it with the support of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just as a little trivia here for the audience, our speaker is the jockey that won Dubai a few years ago. Congratulations. That is the greatest and the largest, most prestigious race in the world by some people's account. So just a congratulations from me, someone who knows.
Thank you.
Not to make light of our own national races, but that is a phenomenal race. Sir.
My name's Mike Pegram. I'm the chairman of the Thoroughbred Owners of California. We represent the interests of over 8,000 thoroughbred owners in the state. Owners are the driving force behind the industry. Without horses, or without owners, there aren't going to be any horse races. I've been very fortunate in my career in California. I've raced horses here for over 3 decades. I've been fortunate enough to have 4 champions and won the Dubai race also with Alex over in Dubai. I've won the Kentucky Derby, the Kentucky Oaks. But the one thing I can tell you that I'm most proud of is racing in the great estates of California. Del Mar and Santa Anita is without the doubt the 2 most beautiful racetracks that we're able to participate in this country. And we've seen a lot of changes over the last 15 years, some good and some not so good. Since the passage of tribal gaming, Prop 1A has resulted in a 40% decline in California racing industry revenues over the last 15 years. In the past 15 years, really the past 10 years, both Hollywood Park and Bay Metal racetracks have closed, and Fairplex, who ran the LA County Fair, has chosen not to run anymore because of economic reasons. The good news is, in 2001, the California legislature granted exclusive authority to horse racing industry to offer wagering on the internet via the advanced wagering deposit, ADW as we like to call it. Over the past 15 years, California horse racing has completely restructured our business model to embrace the new ADW technologies and online wagering exclusively afforded us by the legislature. This year, we project as much as $600 million in ADW wagering, or 40% of the total wager on California racing will come online. The revenue from the ADW and the internet exclusivity awarded racing is very important to our business, and we don't take it lightly. But the ADW is not enough to stem the tide of casino-generated racing revenues in other states. To give you an example, in 2014, with the passage of gaming in New York State, over $180 million from the gaming industry has gone into purses in New York. Last year alone, 90% of the revenues generated in Pennsylvania, which was $205 million, came from a gaming subsidy. That's not talking about what has happened in New Mexico, Indiana, Louisiana, Arkansas. Literally, California is the only state where racing is not receiving any alternative income. To give you an example, what the numbers I just gave you in Pennsylvania and New York, California this year only generated $135 million for our purses. Now, we got the greatest racing in the world, got the greatest jockeys, some of the Bob Baffert, the greatest trainer that we've had, the California Chrome that John Harris talked about, American Pharoah, which we all know, all came from California. So California has got a huge stake nationally in this industry. We know we're losing horses every month to other states. It's very competitive, and we need to stay competitive in California. The payments to racing from the poker bill will help California purses be more competitive. In exchange for that, we are willing to let go of our current internet betting exclusivity in the state. So thank you for your time. Well, if I can just add one other thing, I think we have circulated a letter of support from the industry, and it was supported by everybody except one entity, and I just hope that this committee can see through that the racing industry, it's something that we don't normally do, but we do almost have unanimous support in this bill. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next
Mr. Chairman and members, thank you very much for the opportunity to testify. I'm Barry Broad, and I'm here today on behalf of the Teamsters and the Jockeys Guild. If the owners are the people behind the scenes that put on the race, the jockeys are the guys on the back of the horse right in the front that you can see that are making the race happen. And together with the Teamsters, who are at the starting gate, are cleaning up that track, are providing security, we're one of the unions that make that race happen. I'm also here on behalf of Golden Bear Racing and the California Harness Horsemen's Association that runs harness racing here in the Sacramento area. Let me just give you a little bit of basic economics about horse racing, about any brick and mortar gaming, whether it's horse racing or tribal casinos for that matter, or card clubs. The cost of putting on that bet never goes down for a brick and mortar entity. The price can only go up over time. The cost of electricity, the wages and hours and benefits of the workers, the feed for the horses, water, all of it. It never goes down. It goes up, sometimes more, sometimes less. And it's an important part of our economy. The price of a bet on the internet probably goes down over time. And so for any of us who are in an industry that creates jobs, employs a lot of people, has a lot of investment in the economy, we're faced with a difficult situation in the market. Nonetheless, this is, the way the world is moving. But the product that we put on is important. It's important to the economy, and it's important that it survives. And the revenue stream that is being made available to horse racing here is vital for us, as everyone has pointed out. For the jockeys, it's going to mean pensions and health care. That's what it's going to mean. For the teamsters, it's going to mean more horses, which means more racing, which means more revenue, which means more jobs, which means maybe the average age of our members can go back from about 55 years old to 35 years old. I mean, that's what we've lost. So we are very hopeful with this bill, and I just want to thank Assemblymember Gray for taking on this issue. This is a bear of an issue for any legislator to take on, and I've been around here for 30 years. This is a tough one, and I appreciate a legislator who is willing to take on a tough, thorny issue with lots of competing interests and many facets. And I am feeling really confident, which I should never say. I think we're going to get this one across the goal line, and we're going to get this bill signed this year. So we urge an aye vote. Thank you.
Okay, what I'd like to do, we've had, yes, sir. We've had 5 real strong witnesses from the horse racing industry. What I'd like to do is get everyone to give their name, their organization, and give a brief 1-minute statement, because we have a long list of folks who need to testify. So please, sir.
Well, thank you, Chairman and Executive Board members. Hello, my name is John Valenzuela. I am the president of the SEIU Local 280, which represents the parimutuel clerks in California. Our members take and cash all bets at all California horse racing facilities. The state of horse racing. As you know, California horse racing industry is struggling and in limbo. Many successful horsemen, owners, and trainers have left the state to race their horses in other states for bigger money purses at lesser cost to their businesses. Horse inventories are down in all breeds. As this shortage of horse reduces horse fields competing on a daily basis, small horse fields are not as attractive to bettors, as thus have a negative impact on the work that we do. Increased purse money is the beginning of a better product for horse racing. It is our view that California needs to increase their horse inventory to provide bigger race fields. Bigger fields create more attendance and bigger handle. The revenue stream in AB 2863 will have a positive impact on purses, horse inventories, and the size of racing fields. The state of our Local 280 members. I would also like to briefly talk about how this bill will help Local 280 members. All Local 280 members are seasonal workers, and we have lost 20% of our income because racing was reduced from 5 days to 4 days since 2011. Since then, our local has lost 382 full-time jobs. We have also seen a reduction in hours worked and a reduction in health and welfare and pension benefits. Because the majority of our members work on a part-time basis, few members earn a full pension credit. In fact, the majority of our members earn less than 0.70 pension credits for a full year's earned. This is why a revenue stream directly toward our pensions would allow our membership a peace of mind in planning for retirement. How AB 2863 helps? AB 2863 would provide the California horse racing industry a much-needed revenue stream to help our purses to compete with other states.
Conclusion, we ask that this legislative committee to support AB 2863 by Assembly Member Gray. This bill will help stabilize our industry and our pensions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, I'll just restate, I know a lot of you have traveled a long ways, but we want to make sure we give quality time to everyone. But if you could give your name, your organization, and give us a brief 1 minute. Please, we'll start with you, sir.